Hello!
Hello! So, our first video, we wanted to talk about something that's kind of hotly debated, especially at the start of the year, when we're all thinking about going forwards, what are our goals.
And it's something that's actually quite personally relevant to us both at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're talking about coaches. So how to choose your coach? Do you want a coach? Do you need a coach at this point in time? And sort of what to look for when you're deciding.
Also, are you coachable?
Yeah.
Are you coachable? Because a lot of us aren't coachable.
At a certain point in time.
At a certain point in time. And also, everybody and the boyfriend is an Instagram coach.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's about thinking, who do I want to prep me? Do I want prepped? Do I want a coach for lifestyle? Or do I want to do my own thing? What do you want?
So personally, at the moment, I am in this situation. So I am without a coach and I'm looking towards competing at the end of the year. I'm thinking, do I want a coach? Do I want to just do it by myself? At the moment, we check in with each other, weekly or twice weekly, depending if we're having a bad day.
Sometimes 3 times a week when we're having a bad week.
But yeah, so we're keeping each other on track and sharing our macros. I tend to stick to more of a meal plan.
Yeah.
And our training routines of how we feel, how we're recovering, how our energy is, how our hunger levels are. But equally, I'm looking out there and I'm thinking, do I need somebody that's going to give me a little bit more of a dictatorship? Be like, right, do this, do this, do this. We're obviously very good friends, so we've got that element of like a personal relationship as well, which sometimes it can help when that's completely detached and your coach is somebody who's more of an authority figure that just tells you what to do and you do it, and they don't have that emotional connection to you. So it's whether or not you want somebody where you have that emotional connection as well, or if you want somebody who's very distant and it is more of like a business partnership.
Yeah. I think for me, I've worked with some really great coaches in the past. Mm-hmm. When I'm on prep, I need somebody who's going to be pretty down the line with me and tell me how things are. When I'm, especially in this kind of strange period for me, so I'm kind of off season, but I'm kind of not sure when my next show is, and I'm just getting comfortable with my own body, I need somebody that's got a bit more emotional stance on things, so can understand how I'm feeling about gaining weight. And Amy is great for that because she's very understanding, but she's also very Rosie, you need to man up and eat more.
But I think as well, sometimes that can be the difference between a female and a male coach.
Yeah.
I've only ever worked with male coaches, and whilst I've been very lucky, I think the 2 coaches I've worked with are definitely 2 of the best coaches out there, and they've both done really good things for me. I've learned a lot from both of them. But equally, there's not really that emotional attachment. They go, okay, you're tired, you're hungry, so what, get on with it. And I respond well to that. I love a bit of tough love. I love a bit of, okay, well, that's great. I hope you're alright, as long as your health's good, you're resting, you're still getting enough sleep, and you've got energy to fuel your sessions,
then it's
suck
fine.
it up, keep on going.
So section 2 I'm going to move on to is choosing a coach for a prep.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are currently thinking that you want to compete, my advice to you would be choose a coach long before your show.
Yeah, definitely work with somebody off season.
Work with somebody so they can get to know your body, they can get to know what you're like mentally. If you're emotionally a bit kind of unhappy around food, that's something they need to know about, and also what your training experience is. So if they tell you to do a certain exercise, are you going to go and be able to do that? If they tell you to train to failure, do you know what failure feels like? And generally how you are mentally, what your body's like, what it's like when it's stressed. They need to see you before there's the pressure of a show date.
And you need to have an understanding of your baseline calories. So if you don't know what your maintenance calories are, it's really hard to go to a coach and be like, okay, I need to be ready for a show in 12 weeks. Because they don't know what you're already eating. You probably don't know what you're already eating. So how are they supposed to write you a plan moving forward if you don't have a start point.
And I would argue also it's not fair on the coach, because then if you don't do well, they've not really had enough time to work with you.
No.
They've not had enough time to get to know you, and you don't know if you can work with them well. It's, you know, it's pretty individual. So that is the first thing.
The other thing I'd think, budget. So there are a lot of very good coaches out there. There are a lot of, particularly I've been looking at American coaches, there's a lot of very expensive coaches. So right now competing might be the most important thing to you. But you need to think 6 months down the line, are you going to put yourself in a financial position where you think, well, wow, I've just spent thousands of pounds that I didn't really have for a short-term goal. So make sure it's within your budget. Obviously the best coach that you can afford, but don't skint yourself for it. It's a bodybuilding show and there's lots of other expenses that come with it as well. So you don't want to be having to skimp on your tan or on your bikini and things because you've spent all your money on a coach.
The next point is look at who your coach has prepped, yes, but also look at whether or not they have competed and how they've done.
Yeah.
I think this is important, not necessarily on the placing, but have they been through the process? Do they know what it feels like to be tired and run down in the last feelings of prep? Do they know what it feels like to win? Do they know what that amazing feeling is? And if that person has been through there and put themselves through it and learned from it, then I think that's something that's quite important to me.
I think equally though, I've seen both of my coaches have done very, very well at competing. They've both also been beaten.
Yeah.
And I think having a coach that has been beaten and knows how it feels to not just come second, but to not place in a show, it can sort of, I think it can really help to have somebody who can go, okay, right, pick yourself back up. Because if you've got somebody who's just gone in, they've got amazing genetics, obviously very knowledgeable as well, but they've just walked everything, they don't have that understanding, in my opinion, of what it feels like to lose, how crushing it can be to be stood at the back of the stage and not get that call out, even though you've done everything you can.
And both of us have lost.
Yeah.
Both of us have worked our arses off and lost. Both of us have looked our best and lost.
Yeah.
And that isn't a reflection on your prep, on your body, that's a reflection on the outcome. And you can take from that what you want.
Only win a show if nobody better turns up.
Exactly. Fourth point, and I think third point. Okay, cut. Third point, and I think this is maybe the most important one, and applies to us both, is
It's fourth.
Right, cut. Fourth point is, are you coachable? And have a wee think about that for a minute. So, firstly, what does your coach want from you? They want you to be able to check in and tell them honestly, tell them honestly what your week's been like, what your calories have been. Are there things that you haven't tracked? Did you go out for a few drinks? Did you skip that cardio that day? And realistically, are you sticking to what they've said? If you're not able to be honest, then you aren't coachable. If you aren't able to stick to what they're giving you, you need to tell them so they can change it. And if you say everything's fine and it's not fine, then who's really benefiting from that situation? Because it isn't you.
And equally, I think the best coaching relationships, from being coached and from coaching others, the best it works is, I've had clients who have gone, oh, I've had a terrible week, I've only gone to the gym once, or they'll message me being like, I feel awful, I'm run down, I don't feel very well, or I've got a really busy day at work. And having that sort of relationship where you can be honest and you can say, okay, well, take it as a rest day, just make sure you're eating your rest day food, you're not going over any calories, try and keep as active as you can. And having that relationship with your coach that you can just be honest and open, because we all have crap weeks, and we all have weeks where things don't go to plan, like over Christmas, I got ill, I went to Germany, so I had a week holiday.
She got drunk and she went over her ankle and then just couldn't walk for a couple of weeks.
I couldn't walk at all, so I couldn't get my steps in even, I couldn't train. I didn't really enjoy my holiday, I was away, so I was eating anything, and I just had a terrible few weeks, and people have those. So you need to have that relationship where you can be honest and open, and equally, if you're not willing to be told what to do, so I've had this personally, I've had situations where I've sort of started coaching with somebody, and they said, okay, eat this, this and this, and I go, well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And then I realise it's not them, it's me. I'm the one who's got the issue because I'm not in a position where I am willing to be coached.
Yeah. And also, the last point is, if you are choosing your coach, tell them everything at the start. So everything. So any health problems you have, any bad relationships with food, any exercises you love, any exercises you can't do, your long-term goals, your short-term goals,
how many times a day you can get, how many times a week you can get in the gym, how long you're going to be in the gym for, like even your meal time. So what time you've got a break at work, like literally spill your entire day to them, how you're feeling. When you wake up in the morning, are you energetic? You wake up and have to drag yourself out of bed, just literally your life. The more they know, the better they can help you.
If you get your plan through and there's obviously things on it that you've already told them, say you're allergic to nuts and you've got nut butter in 2 of your meals, or you've said that you can't have dairy, or
I have a lot of people that don't like fish.
Yeah, and you get this plan through and it's clearly they haven't taken into account what you said, then that's maybe a warning sign as well.
Yeah, alarm bells, when you know it's not tailored to you. And I think initially, I know a lot of people do it as a start point, they sort of roll out a generic diet and then they adapt it depending on how people are coping with that. But equally, I think you kind of want somebody that's going to tailor it to your needs, your lifestyle as best you can.
Yeah. And the last point is, we spend money on ourselves in all kinds of different ways. You literally would squat in the corner of a room to charge your phone in a stranger's house, but people don't put money into feeding themselves, fueling themselves, getting a decent coach, and spending some time getting to know who they are.
Quality of advice.
Yeah. And I think, to be honest, it's something that we all should do. I think a coach is great.
A great coach can change your life, I think.
Yeah.
The two people I've worked with have both changed my life for the better.
And I would say I've learned something valuable from every coach I've worked with. So if you're having a think about coaching, then if you've got any questions, let us know.
Yeah.
We are taking on clients. This isn't a plug.
It's not a sales
client for lifestyle and prep.
Yeah.
Because both are important. So any questions, comment below.
Yeah, and equally feedback on what sort of you like to get out of a coach. So do you like a coach who gives you a meal plan? Do you like to work to macros? Just your experiences. Great. I'd be really interested to hear.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Bye.